Biomed Nexus. Daily updates. Your essential biotech, medtech, and pharma recap. No noise, just what matters. TLDR EyePoint's Duravyu did not meet the Lugano primary endpoint of visual acuity change versus aflibercept in the full dataset. Excluding 9 of 211 patients with vision loss, the company attributes to causes other than wet AMD. It was non-inferior, nominal P0096. Lutia reads out in the fourth quarter. Shares were about 70% lower pre-market per RTT News. AstraZeneca discontinued the 895 patient phase 3 EVOLVE Lung 02 trial of volrustomig plus chemotherapy after the Data Monitoring Committee said it was unlikely to meet progression-free or overall survival in PD-L1 negative first-line lung cancer. 2 other AstraZeneca phase 3 lung cancer trials met their primary endpoints the same day. Hutchmed's 338-patient Saffron trial of orthopathies plus Tagrisso, PFS and OS, and Daiichi Sankyo's Destiny Lung 104 trial of Enhertu in first-line HER2 mutant disease, PFS. Slate Medicines will reverse merge into Fulcrum Therapeutics with a $245 million private placement led by Frazier. Fulcrum holders keep about 5% and receive an estimated $270 million dividend, and the company will trade as SLTE after a fourth quarter close. Eli Lilly signed an ion channel discovery deal with OmniAb, undisclosed upfront, up to $370 million in milestones and tiered royalties. Johnson & Johnson returned the Prislon cell CAR-T program to Able Zeta per Biospace, and Celcuity is waiting on FDA review of a second manufacturing site before Revtopic ships late this quarter per EyePoint's news. Executive takeaway day 2 of the ledger is about what a public listing is worth once the binary inside it is gone. Fulcrum dropped its lead drug in June and sold its listing on Monday for about 5% of a new company plus a $270 million dividend. Sky arrived at Friday's Fibex deal with a listing and no cash and kept 38% with no dividend. Same week, same structure, same slice of the equity, and the only variable that moved the price was net cash. The listing itself cleared at roughly 0 both times. That is the number to carry into every reverse merger this year, and EyePoint's count 17 of them already. The shell is not the asset, the cash is the asset, and the specialist syndicate writing the $245 million check is buying a NASDAQ ticker as a free option on top of it. EyePoint is the same lesson from the other side, a listed company that held its own binary and watched 9 patients redefine it before the market opened. Holders of shells and holders of coin flips are learning the same price. Read full analysis, ophthalmology, EyePoint's 6-month insert, missed on the full population and passed on 202 patients, and the FDA will get to pick which one counts. EYPT Duravyu, 2 7 mg dosed every 6 months, did not achieve non-inferiority to on-label 2 mg aflibercept on the primary endpoint. Average change in best corrected visual acuity at weeks 52 and 56 in the full Lugano dataset. EyePoint says an asymmetric cohort of 9 of 211 patients, 4%, lost 15 or more letters for reasons unrelated to wet AMD, and that with them excluded the insert was non-inferior with a nominal p-value of 0.0096. The pre-specified secondaries went the company's way, a 42% cut in treatment burden, 76% of patients supplement-free through week 32, 79% needing one or no supplemental injection through week 56, and a clean safety table with no vasculitis or severe inflammation. Lucia, the second pivotal, reads out in the fourth quarter, and EyePoint still plans an NDA in the first half of 2027. RTT News put the pre-market move at about 70% from $14.75 to $4.48. The regulatory question is simple to state and hard to answer. Does a full dataset miss, rescued by an ad hoc exclusion count as one of 2 adequate and well-controlled trials? The pro-brief works through what 9 patients do to a label. Oncology, AstraZeneca killed a phase 3, won 2 more, and reminded everyone what a big pharma binary looks like. Absorbed before lunch. AZN. HCM, the Independent Data Monitoring Committee for Evolve Lung 02 895 patients across 25 countries, concluded that volrustomig, AstraZeneca's PD-1 and CTLA-4 bispecific, plus chemotherapy, was unlikely to beat pembrolizumab plus chemotherapy on either progression-free or overall survival in first-line lung cancer with PD-L1 below 1%, so the trial stops. Cervical, head and neck, and mesothelioma phase 3s continue. Hours later, HUTCHMED said the 338-patient SAFFRON trial of Orpathys plus Tagrisso met both PFS and OS against chemotherapy in EGFR-mutated, MET-driven lung cancer after progression on Tagrisso, and Daiichi Sankyo said Enhertu met PFS in DESTINY-Lung04 against chemotherapy plus pembrolizumab in first-line HER2 mutant disease. No effect sizes from any of the 3, the wins are being saved for congresses. The pattern is worth naming. The 2 wins are precision subsets carved out of a resistant or rare population, and the loss was an attempt to beat Keytruda head-on in a biomarker-negative crowd. Biospace filed the volrustomig result under a run of AstraZeneca setbacks that includes Wainua, Ultomiris, and elecoglipron. Reverse mergers Fulcrum's holders got a dividend and 5% for their listing. Sky's got 5%, 38% and no dividend. That gap is the whole market for shells. Full Slate Medicines will merge into Fulcrum Therapeutics alongside a $245 million oversubscribed private placement led by Frazier Life Sciences with Forbion, RA Capital, Deep Track, Foresight, OrbiMed, RTW, and Minxin. Pre-merger Fulcrum holders keep about 0% subject to a net cash adjustment and get an estimated $270 million dividend before closing. Fulcrum contributes about $20. $3 million of net cash to the combined company. Slate's lead is SLTE-1009, a subcutaneous antibody blocking both PACAP and VIP for migraine prevention in phase 1 in Australia, with data in mid-2027 and a PACAP VIP and CGRP bispecific behind it. Runway runs into 2029 and the ticker becomes SLTE after a fourth quarter close. Slate launched from stealth in February with $130 million Series A per Fierce Biotech, so this is a 6-month-old company buying a listing with someone else's money. EyePoint's counts 17 reverse mergers completed in 2026, the most since 2018. Column 5 of the ledger, creation vehicles absorbing binaries wholesale, now has 2 entries in 3 business days, and the pro-brief prices the difference between them. Deals Lilly bought an option on an ion channel. Johnson & Johnson handed a CAR-T back. Both are ledger entries. Lilly Jynjomniab signed a global collaboration and license agreement with Eli Lilly for a new ion channel discovery program, an undisclosed upfront up to $370 million in research, development, and commercial milestones, and tiered royalties, with the target and modality undisclosed. Almost all of that number is contingent, which is how Lilly has been buying early biology this month, from Sangamo's platforms for $50 million cash last week to this. In the other direction, Johnson & Johnson has returned prislongcabtagene autoleucel, the bispecific CAR-T for large B-cell lymphoma it licensed from Abelzeta in 2023, to its originator, per Biospace, which puts the original upfront at $245 million and notes the asset quietly left J&J's pipeline slides in April. 2 more columns for the count, contingent consideration written and a binary returned to sender. Quick hits, Celcuity is awaiting FDA review of a second manufacturing facility before Revtorpic ships late this quarter per EyePoint's news, which put the review at 2 to 4 months. The company's own release says only that shipments begin late in the 3rd quarter. The factory, not the drug, again. Regeneron terminated the phase 1/2A Titan trial of Reg 7041, an anti-CD3 antibody for non-infectious uveitis, after reviewing a safety event whose cause it could not identify, per Fierce Biotech. EyePoint's reports that longer follow-up accompanying ivonescimab's newest Chinese approval showed a smaller PFS benefit than the interim analysis, about a 28% risk reduction versus about 40%. Summit's November 14 FDA date is unchanged. SMMT, the FDA's summary basis for approval, shows Vera's Trutacna held kidney function flat through 52 weeks in Origin 3 per Biospace, with the agency calling the eGFR data promising but not definitive. Vera Johnson and Johnson's Monarch bronchoscopy robot cleared an AI software update, and the FDA named hypertension software maker Cadence the second participant in its Tempo digital health pilot after Dexcom per MedTech Dive. 7 large drug makers plus PHRMA and Bio filed comments backing the USTR's Section 301 probe of Germany's drug pricing rules, per EyePoint's news. Fierce Biotech reports 2 previously undisclosed deaths in Chinese investigator-initiated gene therapy trials, including a Huidegene Duchenne study. China's Order 818 took effect in May with GMP and reporting requirements. Read against Binzer and the China licensing thread. In today's full analysis, be sure to read the full article for all the details, including the full Lugano endpoint table, including the ad hoc analysis and what the FDA typically does with post hoc exclusions, AstraZeneca's 3-trial scorecard, Evolve Lung 2, Saffron, and Destiny Lung 4 side by side, the Slate and Fulcrum term sheet next to Fibrix, ownership, dividend, net cash, runway, the updated binary ledger with Monday's 5 new entries, and the Lilly OmniAb and J&J Able Zeta terms. Read the full breakdown, Biomed, Nexus, ProIn. Today's Pro Brief. What 9 patients do to a label, how a full dataset miss and an ad hoc pass get read at the FDA, and the one Lucia outcome that still gets Duravyu approved AstraZeneca's portfolio day, and why the loss and the 2 wins point the same direction for every bispecific with a November decision date. The price of a shell, what Fulcrum's dividend and Sky's zero tell you about column 5 of the ledger, and how to read the 17 reverse mergers behind them, plus the catalysts to watch into Friday's full calendar upgrade to unlock institutional analysis. 2 shells sold for the same slice of equity and different piles of cash, one insert missed on the analysis that counts, and a big pharma took a phase 3 loss before lunch and did not blink. The ledger is filling in faster than we expected. What are you watching? Reply to this email. Read, full article sponsorship slots for 2026 are limited. See packages and pricing. New Biomed Nexus signals, weekly sales intelligence for life sciences BD teams. Learn more